Roald Dahl was born in South Wales on September 13, 1916, and went to English boarding school throughout his childhood. His childhood was difficult, having lost his father and sister at only 3 years old. He was raised by his mother, 2 sisters, and 3 stepsisters. Growing up, he loved to read stories of adventure and fantasy, and his mother would often tell him stories of such. Dahl didn't like school, and at 18 decided not to go to college, but instead joined the Royal Air Force. The first writing he ever did was on his experiences as a World War II pilot. It wasn't until he had kids of his own that he began making up stories for them. James and the Giant Peach was his first successful children's book. His books for children are filled with sketchy illustrations and stories bursting with gluttony and flatulence, in which wives feed their husband worms and the young are eaten by giants and changed into mice by bald, toeless witches. Female characters tend to be either warm or wicked with nothing in between. As mean as they are ignorant, they tower over pint-sized protagonists, twirling them around by their pigtails or banishing them to places like the Chokey in Matilda, Miss Trunchbull's nail-studded punishment closet. Today, titles like The Big Friendly Giant, Matilda, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory regularly appear on lists of the most popular kids' books ever. His work has sold more than 200 million copies worldwide. One of his most noteworthy books is a compilation of 6 revolting rhymes, retelling the classic fairy tales of Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, and Little Red Riding Hood, full of gruesome details and satire. It is delightfully revolting. Dahl has managed to put his delightfully dark spin on fairy tales we know very well, or do we, by retelling them in rhymes and adding a signature twist ending. Roald Dahl's dark wit turns the fairy tales we all know and love right on their heads. Not only is there a trademark surreal and dark Roald Dahl humor, the same that had fat Augustus Gloop sucked up a pipe, after so many remakes of classic tales, Roald Dahl's retelling of these classic stories is refreshing. Something so charmingly gruesome, though actually never realistically violent, can be as much fun for adults as it is for children. My personal favorite of these revolting rhymes is The 3 Bears, which details, first from the point of view of a proud Mrs. Bear, just how vile a character Goldilocks is, burglarizing and then vandalizing the bear's house. It even includes a review of the prosecution case, still in rhyme of course, detailing Goldilocks' various offenses, and finally concludes by suggesting an alternative ending in which Daddy Bear recommends that if Baby Bear still wants his porridge, he needs to eat Goldilocks as well. But Dahl not only makes such bland characters as Goldilocks quite amusing, but also manages to find a way to make all the tales come off happily, but in a twisted and distinctly weird fashion. Cinderella, for example, goes as usual until one of the ugly sisters snatches up the glass slipper, flushes it down the toilet, and replaces it with her own shoe, leading to the prince to start having to behead the ugly sisters rather than marry them, and shocking Cinderella into asking the fairy to find her a decent but less bloodthirsty husband. The revolting rhyme of Cinderella actually caused quite a stir among parents by its use of the word slut. However, it's obvious to most that Dahl uses the word in its original meaning, which is a dirty woman, not the sexually promiscuous interpretation we use today. Roald Dahl is widely praised for creating books and illustrations that have captured the hearts of both kids and adults. His books have helped develop children's ability to read and explore their imagination. His books are known for dark humor and unexpected endings, unlikely and exciting characters, but mostly his ability to engage readers has made him one of the greatest children's authors of the 20th century.